no way I could do justice to summarise the range and breadth of stuff that's been summarised today, so I'll leave you to have your own summary. I'd like to say thanks to a few people. First of all, to the chairs. So Beverly, Ola, thank you. Liz has had to leave, got to get back to Northern Ireland, and Andy just now. So thank you for all the chairs. The keynotes, Jesse, who I think had to go at lunch, Sam, and Nick, or Boris, as maybe we should all start calling him now since he asked for it. The speakers then, Charlie, Kevin and Martin in the first session, Nikki and Rob in the Wales session, then Sally, Alison and Art from Northern Ireland, and then just now, Matt, Lauren, Matt and H, sharing all your wisdom with us. I'd also like to thank the Research Centre team. So Mike, Alex and Caroline and the rest of the team for putting on the day. And I'd also like to thank them for all their work over the last few years. Now, most of you will know that we're in a transition period at the moment, and as of September, the Forces and Mind Trust Research Centre is going to be run by a consortium of Rand and King's, and colleagues from Rand and King's are going, stand up you guys, are in the audience. So we've got Ben and Lynn there from Rand, and Nicola Fear, who most of you will know from King's. So please do have a drink with them. And we're doing some great work at the moment with the team from ARU and with those guys and other colleagues to do this transition. One of the implications of that, I know it's something that people have tried to do in the past, is that it seems a bit quirky that we had the KCMHR conference last week, I think it was, and then this conference. So next year we're going to be looking to have a single conference so that for all of you travelling from outside of London, or even those of you who are quite close by, we can have a single kind of conference, and we're working actively on how we look to do that, alongside actually what Sam was saying about regional conferences or moving it around, and certainly the model of SIMVA. I'm definitely going to be trying to get across to Halifax, Nova Scotia in October, and I hope we can get to a place where we have a UK kind of veterans conference around this time of year that rivals SIMVA in terms of prestige, international representation and all that kind of stuff. So that's my intent. I've got one more thing to do, so this could go very badly wrong, but just conscious that this is between you and a drink. So I've got the awards to do, which I'll do in a sec. But I'm very conscious that this has been quite, and it's kind of the layout of the room as well, it's been quite a kind of send thing today, and it was great that on that last session managed to get to some of the questions from the floor, but I'm conscious on the other ones it's been quite difficult too. So there will be the questions will be put up and answers put up on the hub, so please do go and have a look at that, I think within a week or so, Mike. But if anyone, I've got Moira is going to be my first volunteer, but anyone from the floor who, about 30 seconds max, bearing in mind all the eyes are on you, of standing between a drink. But if you'd like to make a point to the assembled throng of, please come and see me about something when you're having drinks, then that's a kind of open invitation. I won't take up more than maybe 5 or 6 minutes, but Moira's going to kick us off. But if anyone else wants to say anything to everyone here, rather than just collar someone in the drinks, then I just wanted to offer that opportunity before we then do the awards. Moira?
Thank you, Mike. There are approximately 14,000 war widows, war widowers in the UK, and many, many thousand service widows and widowers. So my question to all the researchers is, do you include this cohort in your research? And my plea is, if you don't, please do in the future.
Perfect modelling there. Obviously a very strong point in terms of the content, but perfect modelling of the short point. But if anyone else has got any points similarly, yes, sir.
I'm a veteran, I'm an area secretary. I look after veterans and I recommend them for physical injuries to go to Dr. Sheehan there. I was one of his patients. The administration, the care, the flash to bang time for getting me back on my feet was absolutely outstanding. Very strong on it. So thank you very much. Perfect.
That's a beer for you, H. Any more for any? Yes, sir.
I've spoken to a number of veterans who were LGBT, who were kicked out of the military, either on discharge or administrative discharge before the ban was lifted. Is there anybody here doing research on their mental health, and also things like medals, pensions, and so on? Because we talk about that impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are partnered with Fighting with Pride. We're 18 months into a nationwide piece of research that's actually will be providing underpinning evidence, hopefully, for the review going forward. We're just waiting for the review to get established to go. But yes, so with Craig and Caroline and the team who are embedded in the university now as visiting scholars.
That's great, thank you.
Yes, Alison.
I just wanted to reply to the lady about war widows. Absolutely, I'm from the breeding force, but there's another constituency, which is the incidence of relationship breakdown is actually higher within forces community than wider civilian population. And we found that there's a community there of children who feel that they used to be military children and they're not quite sure of their status anymore. And we also have very important work with them. So absolutely, very inclusive. And thanks for raising it.
Yes, sir.
I wonder if anybody is doing long-term research on any service personnel who've been exposed to radiation hazards. Now, I know specifically the BMTBA, the nuclear test veterans, are trying to get this together, and it gets little media headlines about them getting some money, and then it's very skillfully buried. There are questions here which some people really don't ask, and from looking at it, not only in terms of test veterans, but from Gulf War syndrome onwards, the prevalence of uranium weapons in all recent conflicts, from Iraq, Afghanistan, Bosnia, and currently, I suspect, very strongly in Ukraine.
Yeah.
These have a lead time in the latency period for the cancers is up to 30 or 40 years in the case of test veterans. And somehow there needs to be countrywide monitoring of the long-term health outcomes for the veteran community, including the Gulf War veterans.
Has anyone response to that?
Can I jump on that, please, Di? So I'm with the British Nuclear Test Veterans Association, and there's been a lot of suspicion all the way through because of the MOD, things hidden under the carpet, etc. I mean, I can't say we're through the woods. I mean, Boris in PMQs yesterday has said again about meeting with the groups representing the nuclear veterans. He said that in November. Nothing's happened yet. But where we are is our cohort is average age 86. Yeah. And they're desperate.
Yep.
And they need help.
Okay.
It's really sad because the fourth analysis study has just come out from the government, and everyone's looking at cancers, but the suicide rate is far higher than the cohort.
Right.
And it goes right up.
Yeah, thanks for making those points. Yeah. Good. Yeah, and very important issue. Any more for any? Yes, one at the back, and then potentially one more, and then that's it.
I just want to make everyone aware that we run a peer-to-peer support group for anyone who's been bereaved by suicide in the military community. We're the only peer-to-peer support group that does that. So we're called For the Fallen. So if you come across anyone who's been bereaved by suicide in the military community, I know the NHS is talking about doing things, but peer-to-peer support we've heard is really important. So if you could refer them to us, I'd really appreciate it.
Thank you for making that point. Final one. We'll go to the awards then. Thank you very much for those points, and it worked well, so that was all right. So 2 awards. The first one is the Lord Ashcroft Research Award for 2022. I'm going to read this because I want to get it right. So this is based on innovation in the conduct of research and/or potential for future impact. It's funded by Forces in Mind Trust and judged by Lord Ashcroft. There's a frame certificate, which I've got next to me, and also £100 of book tokens. The winner of the Lord Ashcroft Research Award 2022 is Beverly Bergman. I've got you. Just wait. Not yet. Not yet, Beverly. I've got a long script to read. So this is for her recent work on suicide among Scottish military veterans follow-up and trends, which looked at the risk of suicide in veterans compared to those who'd never served. The study found that overall the risks were no higher than non-veterans, that the highest risk in both men and women veterans was among those in their 40s, which is also a high-risk age group in the wider community. This Forces in Mind Trust funded retrospective cohort study using data from the Trends in Scottish Veterans Health Study, looked at 78,000 veterans and 253,000 non-veterans in Scotland born between 1945 and 1995, matched for age, sex and area of residence. The study used survival analysis to examine the risk of suicide in veterans compared with non-veterans and explored associations with mental health disorders. Beverly's selected for the award because of the importance of this evidence that her and her team, in terms of helping those of us supporting the veteran community. Although every person who takes their own life is one too many, it is reassuring to see from this research that the veteran community, in Scotland at least, is not disproportionately affected compared to non-veterans. It's also useful to know that they may be at greater risk sometime after their transition to civilian life, because this could have implications for the support that we offer. This research is an important contribution both to service providers and to the public perception of veterans, and provides hard evidence that counters widely held beliefs about veteran suicide. Beverly, please come up to accept your award. Yeah, just a quick word, yeah.
Thank you very much indeed to the Forces in Mind Trust for this award. I'm extremely honoured and I feel very privileged. It's very poignant that of the 20 plus papers that we produced, it's been given for the one on suicide. But I think once that had been published, we realised that this was actually going to have some very important implications for the way we think about veteran suicide. We'd been thinking in terms of the very young, recently discharged veteran, and it served to highlight that we had this very vulnerable group who had left service in some cases more than 20 years ago, who were now middle-aged, who were actually extremely vulnerable and probably didn't feel that they were being reached out to by services. So we're extremely grateful that this has been recognised. But I'd also like to pay tribute to my co-authors on the paper, Professor Jill Pell, who's Director of the Institute of Health and Wellbeing at Glasgow University, and Professor Danny Mackay, who is Head of Public Health. And they were my PhD supervisors some time ago, and I owe them a lot. So thank you very much indeed to everybody who's been involved in our work.
So the final award, the other award, is the Forces in Mind Trust Research Award 2022. The Forces in Mind Trust Research Award 2022 is presented to Anglia Ruskin University, who, in collaboration with Forces in Mind Trust and Lord Ashcroft, conceived of and created the Veterans and Families Research Hub and the Forces in Mind Trust Research Centre. This initiative, originating in 2015, has brought together researchers, those involved in policy making and service provision, and members of the wider veteran community in the UK and overseas to enhance understanding through collaboration. Starting with a broad vision, ARU created a novel and innovative web platform which has become the showcase and focus for veteran and family research. The hub became the core of Forces in Mind Trust's own research centre, developed and staffed by ARU, that provides advice, support to FiMT and to others in the commissioning and conduct of research. In the nearly 5 years of operation, ARU set the vision and conditions for its ongoing success and further development, and for that they can be rightly proud of their achievement. Matt, please could you come up and accept the Forces in Mind Trust Research Award on behalf of ARU and your team at the Research Centre.
absolutely. Yeah, just to say thank you very, very, very much indeed. And as you said, next year we're handing over to Kings and Rand, who will be continuing the good work. And so we look forward to the conference this time next year, hopefully back to back with the King's Mental Health Conference. And I look forward to being there and drinking the beer then. So thank you.
There's one, not an award, but a gift. Behind all the good words that Mike's just said about ARU, there's one person who's been a constant all the way through from the Lord Ashcroft report on veterans and transition back in 2014, through the inception of the Hub and Anglia, through the Forces in Mind Trust Research Centre, and that's Alex Cooper.
Walk of shame. Yeah. That's a long walk, Alex.
This is, in fact, Alex's last day, and he goes out on a high. Quite frankly, without him, we wouldn't be here today. So, Alex, although this is a gift from the centre, I'm sure it's actually an honour from all the research veteran community. Thank you very much.
Well, firstly, thank you. Very unexpected. The fact that it is an alcohol receptacle, I'm inferring nothing from how the team view me. And team it is. Without Caroline, Chris and the guys last few years, this wouldn't have got where it's got. Hopefully we've done something of benefit for the researchers, for the policymakers, the practitioners, and of course for the veterans and families themselves. But thank you very much, and now I think it's wine time.
I think the sun sets in about an hour and 5 minutes.
You've got ages.
So you've got plenty of time to fill your boots with canopies and drink out on the balcony outside. Thank you very much indeed, and a safe journey home. Thank you.
Yeah.